Assalamu alaikum, sisters, and welcome back. I have been a bit sick lately with a flu, so I've been out of action, but I've been dealing with a client, and this problem crept up over and over again, and I just felt like I had to talk to you guys about it. So, you all can get in on the free advice action that I have. Topic is, as you can see in the title bar below, that can women and men just be friends? Friends. Okay. Before I continue, I just wanted to show you this. It's called a tough cookie, and apparently my kids made this for me because they call me a tough cookie, and I just thought it was rather cute. The only cookie that's not gonna get you fat. Anyway, moving on. Can women and men just be friends? Okay, so there's two parts to this. Okay, so then there's before marriage, having friends, and then after marriage, having friends. Now, in the Western world, in the world where, there's permissiveness in society and people have a rather open, free engagement with both sexes, it's an age-old problem, okay? Can women and men just be friends? People who have strong resolve say that it's possible. Some people who want an excuse to justify their friendship say that it's possible. Some people that want to downplay a romantic relationship say that it is, but they're using the guise of friendship to actually hide behind the name friendship, when actually it's more, but they're just trying to pretend that it is friendship so that it's acceptable and that, their spouses don't have a problem with it or whatever. A few common substantiations cited by women for having non-mahram males in their life as friends is this. The bro zone big brother excuse. Oh, so X, Y, and Z, he's just like my big brother, he's so protective over me. He's like, just looking out for my well-being, and, he makes sure that no one comes and hurts me. Or if I need to go to the shop, he'll come with me to give me company so that he protects me, or whatever the case is, okay? This came from a man and a few other men who my husband has spoken to. I mean, this is the guy code, okay? The guys know the guy code. They are not as benevolent and as generous and as kind and philanthropic as you think they are, okay? When a guy is there giving a girl company or doing favors for a girl or running errands for a girl or doing anything for a girl, he's waiting in the lineup. He is there for a motive. It's not because he's such a nice person. Generally speaking, in the vast general majority of men, they do not do things because they care about you and your well-being and all that. It's not because they're benevolent. And this has come out of the mouth of males that we have surveyed, and my husband has testified to this. And he says, there's always, as we say as Asians, we say matlab. I think Arabs say it too, matlub. Okay, it means you have a motive. It means that they have a reason for being your friend or for helping you out and being so generous with their time, with their money, even with their company. Sure, they might protect you, but there's no one to protect you from them. Just think about that for a second, okay? The second thing is, the little brother myth. So you get the big brother brozone myth, and then you get the little brother brozone myth. Oh, well, he's just like a little brother to me. Hello, have you seen Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas? Just because he's younger, look, perhaps, many women who ended up with younger men, like Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher, when that was the thing back in Islam, we have our own example of Khadija radiallahu anha and a few of the other sahabiyat and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the thing is that just because, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was younger than his wives, didn't cancel out the fact that he could be their husband. It's just awkward or weird because generally women want someone older, stronger, more mature to take care of them. That's not always the case. I mean, you get some very mature younger guys, mature younger guys that are even more mature than the guys your age or older. And this is a fact. And they're obvious, and they are more suave, more chivalrous, more charming. So you got to watch out for these things. Just because he's younger than you does not mean he's less experienced or not very attractive, because he can play all of that up. So again, whether you're seeking solace in them or they're seeking solace in you because they're younger than you means nothing. It means nothing. It does not mean that you cannot develop feelings for them. So watch out for that. Then we have the uncle myth. Okay, this is a bit dodgy. So the uncle myth is like someone's always like it's kind of like the big bro zone myth, where it's like okay, so this guy's like my uncle. He really cares about me. He's trying to be there for me when my father is not in town or my husband's not in town. You know, it's like an uncle. And look how old he is. You know, he's got a big fluffy beard, or he's this or he's that. Whatever the case is. Okay, it's the same thing. It's the same thing like the bro zone myth. There is no, there's nothing protecting you from him having feelings for you, and there's nothing protecting you from having feelings for him. Let's just say on the odd chance that he has feelings for you and he's doing all of this because he wants something from you. Are you still going to let him do those things for you? Ugh. Ew. Okay, so you need to think about that for a moment. And yes, I know sometimes we're in a position where we need help if our males are not in town, but please resist this. Just resist it, because it could it could land you into something ugly, and then they will accuse you of using them, or once your husband is back in town, or your father is back in town, or your brother is back in town to help you out, this person will be like, oh, now you don't want to know me, huh? Now you don't want to know me because your XYZ mahram is in town. So yeah, they do it for a motive. This is down to the fact that they wanted your company and were vying for something more. Men are predators. They are hunters. They're hardwired biologically, mentally, physiologically. They're hardwired to chase, to hunt, and you are the prey. So don't ever think that you can hide behind bro zone, friend zone, uncle zone, big brother, small brother, and all of that, because at the end of the day, they're still hunters. In times of crisis, you could be, for example, let's just say you and your fiance broke up, or you're really scared and afraid, and this guy could be even the friend of your fiance, or, someone died in your family, or something bad has happened to you, and this guy comes on the scene like the hero, like the knight in shining armor, there to save you and slay all your dragons, and, be there to rescue you and whatever. Just be careful of this, because they dig into times of crisis because it's easy pickings and you're vulnerable in that moment. So, they will be the big brotherly, shoulder, go-to for advice. They don't care that you've bro-zoned them. They don't care that you friend-zoned them, because they see it as a possible temporary setup. Or rather, let's just say that they're a bit deluded sometimes. They think that they can change that dynamic. They think that they can step out of the friend zone or step out of the bro zone and actually convince you to, have feelings for them. If that's even possible. So, a little bit about the friend zone myth, okay? All of these supposed friends, here's the deal. One of you is likely going to develop feelings and get hurt if it's not reciprocated. You may not like him, and he may not like you. Yet. Number 2, vice versa. He may like you, and you may not like him. Or you may develop feelings for him, and he may not like you. Okay, someone's going to get hurt there. Just be careful of that. Number 3, and then if you want to push the issue of he sees me as his sister, he sees me as his sister, look. Either you're very naive, or either you're in denial, or it hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't really occurred to you yet. But I doubt he takes his sister out for coffee wearing cologne. There's signs, and if you look hard enough, you will see that there's always a reason why a guy is keeping you as his friend. Because guys live for the maybe. They live for potential. They live for what could happen, the great unknown, the mystery of what they haven't caught yet, or a conquest, that hasn't been conquered yet. Whatever it is, okay, that's the way they operate. Now, the big problem is married and having male friends, okay? So let's just say your sister who's married and you have male friends, or you are considering having male friends, or someone popped up as a male friend and is being very friendly towards you. You need to just ask yourself a few questions, and that is, why do you need male friends when you have a husband? Why open up the door to potential evil, or evil in general? Because being alone with a non-mahram man is going to lead to evil. That's just the way it is. There is no loyalty code when having friends. If he was your husband, he would not allow your code with other men, okay? If he had a wife who told him to stop talking to you, he wouldn't have any bro code or sis code for you. He would break off the friendship in a heartbeat for you to save his marriage or for his wife, if his wife meant anything to him. And if she didn't mean anything to him and you're trying to break up the marriage, oh Lord, have mercy. Girl, what are you doing? That's another story altogether, but I'm not bringing that into this video because it's way too long and it's a whole nother subject. If you had a friend whose wife allowed him to spend time with you, you would, on some level, think that she's very stupid, naive. You would not think that she's very confident, because she may be confident, but that has nothing to do with the fact that she just allowed her husband to come and spend time with another woman. So, to the super confident and super emotionally independent women out there who want to play it cool and show him how chilled and easygoing you are, my darling, what you are in fact doing is showing him how easy to cheat on you are. How naive you are, how gullible you are, and you're not being cool by letting him loose like that. What you're actually doing is you're hiding your insecurities and doing approval-seeking behavior because you're trying not to lose him, so you're trying to play super cool. But in playing super cool, you're actually giving and towing too much line. That leads you to then look like you are afraid of appearing jealous. And when you are afraid of appearing jealous because you think that that is weak, you actually do then play into weak and needy behavior, because you're giving him too much freedom and you're not having enough respect for yourself to know that you have the right to good treatment and to be treated in a way that is showing loyalty to you and only you and staying with you and not being with anyone else that could possibly damage and be detrimental to your marriage. If you aren't fazed by your husband having female friends, then you either don't love him or you want him to find a second wife. Because for the most part, every woman is for herself. There is no loyalty when it comes to women in general. Sure, you might find a few women who have some, morals and some code where she does not want to break up another marriage, or she cares about her friend's husband and she's trying to protect that union. But generally, every woman's for herself. There is not much loyalty among women. Competition is neck and neck for the ever-decreasing pool of available and eligible men. So women are always vying for the most eligible bachelor. Women always are vying for other people's husbands. Women are always vying for, in general. Okay, because I was a divorcee once, and I can tell you honestly, I was not vying for anyone's husband. I didn't even want to be married, so that just happened. But again, not everyone is like that. However, you will find generally they're trying to get what goodness other people have and take it for themselves. This is human nature, I'm afraid, and it's dark. It can get pretty dark. So in Islam, even if he doesn't leave you, per se, he can take his friends as a second or third wife or fourth wife, or, yeah, I think it ends there. But in which case, you should be asking yourself, what is the need for having female friends? You're just exposing yourself to a lot of pain and hurt and heartbreak if you give him that much of freedom. And at the end of the day, your husband married you. He's your man. He's your bestie. He's your best friend. He's your companion. He's your soulmate. He's your everything. So why he should be spending time with another woman just absolutely eludes me. I think you're not having enough respect for yourself if you are allowing him to do that. It's not about trust. Of course, yes, there is a level of trust that you have to have regardless. I mean, if he's trapped in an elevator with a woman, God forbid, I mean, you're going to have a level of trust. I mean, you will feel crap about it for sure, but I mean, you can't start screaming and shouting. It's not his fault. Your husband married you. You married him, which in Islam means exclusivity. He does not belong to any other woman, and you do not belong to any other man. No one has their rights and access to you. No one should. So, just remember that you have a right to reel him back in, to rein him in, and that is your right. And he should respect that, or don't get married. It's as simple as that. If you want to have a free life and do whatever you want and have all these friends, single, free to mingle, and whatever you want to call it, then just don't get married and don't hurt someone's feelings. Okay, marriage is ordained by Allah to protect the spouses from zina. It's to protect your private parts from illegal sexual intercourse. It's to protect yourself from heartbreak and pain and all of the social ills that perpetuate and plague our society, which is so evident I don't even need to make mention of them. But the point is, You have a responsibility to your partner. Forget about how much you trust him and how cool you are and how confident you are and all of that. At the end of the day, he's a trust to you and you're a trust to him. And that means that you should protect him and his private parts from illegal anything. And that way that you do that is by laying down some healthy boundaries and some ground rules for your relationship. And know that, hey, you know what, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to go and chat with the neighbor and his wife next door. It's not okay when you go there and he's not at home and whatever, and you chill and because I'm not home from work, or whatever your setup is and however you run your life. There's so many ways different people do it. So you'll find how this can fit in with you. But you have to take care of that trust and make sure that you're not leaving any loops open for shaytaan to enter and come in and mess up your relationship and lead them towards sin. The attitude, dear sisters, is and should be, how dare he want to hang out with another woman other than me? Who could possibly be more awesome than me to hang out with? There is no woman who can entertain and take care of him and his needs better than I. So why would I invite competition when no one can compete with me? That should be your attitude, sisters, and I hope that if anything, I leave you with the confidence to be able to tell your husband, no, you're not meeting so-and-so. You're going to stay home with me and we're going to have some fun together. Or we're going to go out together and do something. And if you have to meet someone, let's do it together. If there's some business meeting, go with him. Don't let him go alone. Because the other point is that, look, doing business with the opposite sex is very tricky. And history has, exposed tons and tons and tons of data of adultery within colleagues, within firms, within businesses, within companies, where the opposite gender are constantly mixing right up against each other. Many alpha females have this fear that they don't want to expose themselves as looking weak. And I did touch on this earlier. They don't want to expose themselves of being controlling and overprotective and smothering to their husbands. But you're not looking needy and desperate and jealous by telling you that he should not mix with the opposite sex for friendly reasons or business reasons by himself. Firstly, if he loves you, he will love that you are jealous of him. He really will. And I know it's shocking, but really, honestly, he will. He'll appreciate it, that you're trying to take care of him and that you actually do love him. And that's what's making you jealous. And that kind of jealous can be cute, and it can be cute both ways. And it's a type of ghira. Okay, it's a type of ghira that a man has for a woman and a woman can have for her husband. And you should have this. He won't be irritated if he really loves you and he wants the best for both of you. So if you pretend to be too cool, again, you're trying not to look weak and controlling, but it's fear preventing you from showing that unless you truly don't care about him. In that case, why are you married? If you don't care about your husband, if you don't care about him being with other people, then, this polyamorous thing that's emerging is really sickening.
Aren't you married? Yeah, but what? Married people can't have friends?
We're gonna be friends?
Yeah. You wanna be my friend?
We're not gonna be friends.
Step up, ladies. You're responsible for him as he is responsible for you. Now I know I'll get some women saying, well, I allow my partner to have friends and I have friends and we trust each other and our bond is so strong and nothing can faze us and nothing can shake us and we are solid as a rock, and all it takes is one argument between you and your husband that could shatter your current stability. And you may feel the need in a vengeful way even to seek comfort from your male friends in the guise of, well, I want to understand men. I want to understand my husband better. So I want to hear a guy's perspective, right? To help me understand my husband better. And this is a trick from shaytaan. It's very crafty. So he lures you with this excuse into seeking comfort with another man. And, this will upset your husband no end. It will pee him off big time. But no mistake, it will also weaken the trust between you because he's going to think, okay, so the slightest argument, the slightest turmoil, the slightest, friction that we have together, and you're going to be sent reeling off, running, jumping into your car and scooting off to this guy for comfort and advice. And your husband's honestly not going to have much respect for you for doing that because it's BS. It's BS that you want to do that to know how to handle your husband. If you are sincere, you should be having this conversation with your husband, not another man. You should be sitting your husband down and saying, I want to talk to you about this. I want to deal with you regarding this. You're the one with the problem. I want to know how we can solve this together. Because it's your problem between you and him. It's not with another person. And don't make it become because another person's involved. I mean, that's honestly an open way to just invite damage and shaytaan and crisis and chaos and all sorts of nasty things. When you run off to another man seeking comfort because of your husband, there's a few reasons that could be possibly why you're doing this. And number one, it could be that deep down you're doing it for leverage, to make him feel like, hey, you know what, you can't mess with me. I have, number two, support. I have support, I have a support system, people who care about me, and I have options. Other men are caring for me, so you better watch out or you could lose me. You see, you're trying to shake the stability of your relationship, and that's exactly what you're doing. But you don't realize how damaging that is. If the little girl emerges and comes up in you and you act like a little girl in times of crisis where you run off and seek comfort with another man, cry on his shoulder and seek advice from him, this is your little girl, this immature little girl acting up in you. This is not a mature person. This is not someone who's seeking out, for the betterment of the relationship and to keep the marriage intact. No, this is immature behavior, okay? And it's very damaging. It's also because you want to take revenge on your husband to make him angry. So you want to piss him off the way he has pissed you off. You want to show him how deeply hurt you are, so you want to hurt him back. And you also want to test his limits. It's a bit of a shit test. If you study PUA like I have and relationship dynamics, then you will know that a shit test is where a woman tests a man to see how much of a man he is. So women do this all the time, even while they're married to their husbands, to see how far she can push the limits with him and test, the limits and the barriers and the boundaries of the relationship. So she's going to run off to see whether he's going to chase her and whether he's going to try and reel her back in. And it's a bit of a shit test. Again, this comes up from your little girl in you acting up and being all immature. So be careful of that. Now, again, caveat. Let's just say for one hot minute that you are sincere about seeking advice from another male. And you're doing it from sincere intentions. Okay? There is not a single guy in this world who is not an opportunist, who is not going to see cracks in the vessel and not be tempted to crack it wide open and take it for himself. Men are not like women. They're predators and hunters. I mentioned this before. And it may be apparent or it may not be. But he's not just counseling you because he feels sorry for you. Again, men are not benevolent Mother Teresas. He's secretly hoping to get a piece of the pie. And guys will never tell you this because why would they expose themselves and show their game? There's bro code. I do not have bro code. I have cis code, so that is why I'm exposing all this to you. When you seek comfort with another man because of your husband, under the guise of advice or any of the excuses that we gave before this, it is still emotional cheating. I can't sugarcoat that for you, and I won't. It's emotional cheating. If you're sincere about getting your marriage fixed, sit down with your husband and have the discussion with him. Number two, seek out a licensed counselor, therapist, or imam, or someone trustworthy in the community and go together. You do not go and sit alone with another man discussing your husband, and he should not go and sit alone with another woman discussing you. That is absolutely out of order. It's inappropriate. It's not on. And it shows me that neither of you, if you do this, have any respect for your bond, for your relationship, for your marriage, or for the integrity that the nikah and the sacredness that that bond holds. So women, be warned. Don't run off like a spoiled brat, okay, going to seek comfort with another man and say that you need advice. And men, don't fall for that BS from your woman. If they do this, you need to be more firm and set healthy boundaries with her, explicit boundaries, be really firm about it. And of course that, in a way, will show her what a man you are, and that's really attractive to her, even if she's going to fight you. Soldiering on, even though I'm sick. Make dua for me. I love you guys. Take care. Subscribe. Hit the notification button and leave a comment or any of your ideas, anything that you think you can add to this to make this content even richer. leave it in the comment section below and let all the sisters know how they could protect their marriages and how to bust the friend zone BS. Okay, thank you very much. I love you. Assalamu alaikum. Mwah. Signing off with me and Tough Cookie.